Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We always love to talk about companies that are giving back and making a difference. So we're honored to be joined by Zack. He's the founder and operator of Symbiotic Clothing. He's coming all the way in from Canada. So Zack, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome, Jeremy. Thank you very much for having me. This is awesome. I'm very grateful, and it's a pleasure to be here.
So let's start with a little bit because you, at a young age, started your first company. So you're an entrepreneur by heart. Give us a little bit of your background in terms of just kind of where you grew up, starting your first business at age 16, and then obviously kind of you being in college right now, working on a degree and getting into business pretty heavily.
Well, it's quite a backstory, actually. When I was 1 year old, I moved from Edmonton, Alberta to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and lived there for about 8-9 years until grade 8 and then 9. And then in grade 9, I went to a boarding school called Notre Dame, Alpha Marine College of Notre Dame, and lived there for a year. Came back to Saskatoon for a few months, and I moved to North Battleford for hockey. This is all for hockey. I'm an athlete. So I moved to North Battleford for 2 years, came back, moved to Toronto for a year for grade 12. And then I moved to Nipawin, Saskatchewan this is when I was playing junior hockey. So I lived in Nipawin, Saskatchewan for a year. Then I got traded to La Ronge, Saskatchewan, which is a little bit farther north. Beautiful country though, very beautiful. And then I moved to Dauphin, Manitoba for a few months. Met a really great roommate there, had a great time. And then to finish it off, I went back to Kindersley, Saskatchewan for the last few months of my career. And since then, I went on to play college hockey at Simon Fraser University in British Columbia, Vancouver. So I've been around, but at 16 years old, I was a little bit younger than that. I wanted to start a business, and I wanted to try and help people as well. But business was kind of the thing that I had my interest and wanted to get into. So my dad thought, well, why don't you take the lawnmower out and start cutting people's grass for them? And I thought, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So my mom helped me get a truck going, and it just kind of started from that. Like, it was just a small grass cutting business. I would lift the lawnmower up into the back of a half-ton, or it wasn't even a half-ton, it was a quarter-ton. It was an old Ford Ranger. And I'd lift the lawnmower up. I just couldn't get ramps at the start, couldn't afford them, but so I'd lift the lawnmower up into the back end and haul it around like that until I was able to afford ramps. And then I was, kind of getting somewhere here with this. And
yeah, well, you got to start somewhere. What's one lesson? Because I think that's something on our end that, to me, you start with something that's service oriented. And obviously that's a lawn mowing business. And that's how you learn. That's how you start. That's where most entrepreneurs start, is a service business like that. What was something you learned in that process?
How to interact with customers, I think, was a big thing. And, how to treat people properly, make sure the customer's needs are being met, just making sure that you're doing a good job, too, with their yard. Because the first thing you see when you show up somebody's house is their yard, on the most part. And it's a big key factor. People want to have a nice green grass. They want to have the grass cut, well, the edges done properly. And so you learn how to do a good job at what you're doing. You learn how to service the customer at the same time. But you also learn the back end of the business, where you're learning about your financials and your profit and your marketing and all the other stuff that you have to worry about as well with, trying to grow something into something. I took it from cutting grass into a full-on landscaping company. And it just kind of grew over the years, and it grew on me, and it was fun. The summers in Saskatchewan can get quite hot and dusty. And I kind of thought, I want to help more people. And I want to, have a bigger cause and a bigger purpose here in this. So I got to find something a little bit different that, can make a little bit more of a bigger impact than just landscaping. Because landscaping is great, and, it pays good, but it wasn't fulfilling for me anymore. And I thought, how can I reach more people, help more people out, and, maybe do a little bit better of a job in business or in the culture in Canada here and the States, and just try and give back a little bit more than what I was.
Well, so talk about Symbiotic Clothing, because you saw an opportunity not only give back and do something special with a line of clothing and hats and accessories and bags, but to really give it a root in mission and purpose of helping those who are homeless and who need clothing.
Well, when I was playing in Vancouver and Toronto, there was quite a big homeless people suffering from homelessness in the population, and you'd go out and you'd see, their clothes. They'd be quite smelly, and it turns people away from them, and it kind of scares people off. And when it starts to rain, like Vancouver is a very rainy. It's a rainforest actually, so it's quite wet, and people, they get wet and they need dry clothes, they need clean clothes. There's people that are trying to come out of homelessness and better their lives, and they need even if it's a dress shirt or some slacks, something to get them in a professional setting to help them out. And I thought, what's a better way than being able to give, it's the reason it's called symbiotic clothing, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So that's where the name comes from. And it's where you can help yourself, but you can also help somebody else at the same time. And a big thing, like I was talking with some of my friends, is a lot of people say they want to help, but they don't really know what to do. And everybody buys clothing. So I thought, well, you know what, I don't know how I came across the idea of the get one, give one, but it just kind of came to me. And I built the website in less than a week, and it was just like, this is it, this is awesome, this is going to be great. You kind of have that euphoria for the first part of it, and you're thinking everything's going to be awesome, and you don't know how it's going to pan out, but you think, I got something here that I can try and run with, and our mission is, what we want to be able to do is help more people than, or offer more than just clothing as well. To the end of it, we'd like to be able to offer them jobs and get them, support groups, and get them out there in the world. And, if we can offer them writing courses to get a resume going.
Well, really using the company to be able to create change and to fuel change. I mean, ultimately create transformation. And so talk about the different, because you have like what you're wearing right now. It's a lion logo. So talk about some of the different products and the accessories and logos. Paint a picture of the different things that people can buy.
Well, right now we have two logos. We're kind of fighting back and forth on which one we want to go with. One's a lion head logo, and it's a little bit busier than our simple, it's a fish logo. And we kind of had some background with the heart of the line. You could change the world, because just trying to, pull on people's emotions a little bit. But we have lots of premium hoodies. We have basic hoodies. We've got bags, different types of bags.
There's hats, I know, as well.
Hats, yeah. We've got lots of water bottles, mouse pads, almost anything you can think of, just little accessories and knickknacks we can sell. So there's stuff for, very basic prices of like $10, $15, all the way up to $60 for a premium hoodie. And everything's on sale right now, and it will be on sale for the remainder of the summer at the very least. So if you're interested, come check us out. The website, you can Google Symbiotic Clothing, and it's symbioticclothing.ca is the URL.
And I know that even when you click on it, it's an automatic pop-up that you can receive 10% off. And so you've got all sorts of mailing lists and different things to take advantage of as well.
Yeah, we do. And we don't actually send out too many emails. We're not trying to push the products on people, but it is there just for another opportunity. If you do want to kind of become of our membership group, maybe receive some, sometimes we send out statistics on homelessness more so than promoting our products, just making people aware of what's kind of going on in the world and where people are at as well, and another image to it. And
what's something when you look at combining your experience as an athlete and then as an entrepreneur starting the lawn business, but then now with Symbiotic Clothing, what's something that you look at, I took from those experiences to bring in to really create Symbiotic Clothing and to give you an advantage moving forward?
Well, I think that's a very good question, actually. It's being an athlete, you're given a lot in life, and sometimes things can be handed to you on a platter in a way. And these people have never had anything handed to them on a platter. And for me, when you're kind of raised into, by no means are we affluent people, but when you're raised into an athlete, sports cost money. And as you get to the higher levels, you start to get more perks with it, with building, housing, and some of your gear gets paid for and things like that. And there's times where I'd organize a group of guys to go out and cut firewood for families that they use firewood in the wintertime. So I get, 5-10 guys together, and we go, get the log splitter out, and we go haul, 10 cubic yards of wood for them and split their wood for them for the winter, and trying to give back in that way. So we know that we're not above everybody else, and trying to just bring the community together, because the community supports us in the big ways. So we'd like to support the community as well. And that's kind of where I'm coming from, is I'd like to support the community.
What's something that when you look at encouragement for others, like you said, to use your gifts, to use your resources, to make a difference, to help others, to use their companies to become catalysts to make a difference, what would your words of encouragement be for others to venture down this path of mission-driven, purpose-driven work?
You got to give it a shot. You really do. You got to try it. You get a great sense of fulfillment from it. And knowing that you can help people and support them. And that's a big thing. You want to be able to support the other person. You don't want to just, offer them some money, because they might not know they might not have the money skills to know what to do with the money. So you got to be able to try and support them in other avenues as well, I think. And, even if you make an effort, you can change the world. Like the smallest, one person helps somebody, and maybe they tell their friends, oh yeah, I did this, and it rubs off them in a good way, and oh, I want to help this person, or I want to try and do that, something like that too. And you kind of create a chain reaction where you get a few people helping, and then it kind of snowballs into more people helping, and things can change. And things can change, and there's some businesses in the world that are proving that, and they're doing that for people, and I think it's a great thing.
I think too, when you look at Symbiotic Clothing, the opportunity to use it as gifts. So in other words, for listeners and people who are watching this as a video, don't just think about it in terms of for you, think about it in terms of this has a story. These items of clothing have stories and a higher purpose. And so being able to use it for gifts, for the holidays, for Father's Day, Mother's Day, all these different things, that becomes something too to open people's eyes on, hey, wait a second, there's so many ways that you can use Symbiotic Clothing above and beyond just personal use. Share maybe, 1 or 2 ways that you think, hey, this is something that people can creatively use Symbiotic Clothing for gifts, for parties. What are some other ideas?
Well, we actually offer print on demand. So for any, business meetings, or if you have a group, like a crew of work guys, that need clothing or something, we can customize any logo that you want. So we can put on any logo onto our clothing, and the donation factor stays the same, and the prices stay the same. It's not extra money. It's not more money for print. Our costs remain the same. You just have to shoot us an email with the logo that you'd like to put on, and we can customize anything on our site. So if you want, team water bottles or office work pads with your office logo on them, we can do that. We can do anything customizable, and we can offer bulk pricing as well if you'd like. You just got to get in contact with us. There's a contact link on the website, and promotional products too for your giveaways. If you have giveaways, we can do things like that. Like if you have promotional products that you'd like to give away at a conference or something like that, we can help with that. We can help with your needs. We can work with you. We're very easy to work with. We get back to you as quick as we can. So,
what puts a smile on your face when you look at the hard work and effort, like you said, of building the website, getting this thing off the ground, and now seeing that this thing actually can create real change? What puts a smile on your face?
Seeing somebody else smile back when they receive something as a gift. Like it's more than just, putting a smile on my face. It's more about putting smiles on other people's faces. Like when you can offer somebody some warm gloves in the middle of winter for their hands, and they're just, they might tear up. They might be they're just so grateful for it. And we don't like to necessarily videograph a lot of donation stuff, because it is a touchy subject for some people, and we don't want to be out there, kind of trying to show off in a way. So our webpage is more about creating awareness and bringing awareness into it, and showcasing some of our clothing. But if you can put a smile on somebody else's face, or help them out through the winter time, even in the rainy season, that's what puts a smile on my face, and it gives me joy, and it's a sense of fulfillment. And yeah, not much more I can say, I don't think, with
No,
that.
I love the fact of the dignity, to your point of not, you're not out there to get the video and get all those moments. You're there with a higher purpose of dignity. And I love that approach and the privacy and the intimacy of what you're doing on your end in terms of the gifts. And so I think that's a very cool aspect of this. I'm just curious, what's some of the best advice that you've gotten either from a friend, a coach, a parent? You know, what's some of the best advice that you've received in terms of being able to help you along your way?
You never know unless you try. You're never going to know unless you try. And if you don't try, you're never going to know. So, and even if you do try and it doesn't work out, like there's a thing that floats around on social media that Coca-Cola only sold like 25 bottles of Coke their first year in business. So, and now look at how big they are, right? Like you got to at least try. And if you try, you never know what could happen. I have friends that they started a donut shop out of their grandma's house, actually. And they're 2 years later, they've got their own business front and they've got a store warehouse and they're doing just fine. And it just came from them trying something new. And you don't need to know, you don't need to be an expert, I don't think, in your field either. You learn so much so quickly. The learning curve is so steep that by getting an effort and just doing your due diligence and your research on the market, you know, every few days or whatever it is you have to do, you'll learn and you'll figure it out. And no business is perfect from the start. Like, you know, Fubu, the guy had to mortgage his mom's house to keep it going at one point. And look at him now, like he's doing fantastic. It's just, it's a matter of starting and trying and keeping going and persevering and, you know, never giving up.
Very well said. Zach Kelbaum, go ahead and wrap up and talk about website again and where we can go, social media to follow the conversation, to be a part of it, and obviously to buy all the clothing and give back as well.
So we're located or online. There's our only spot of purchase right now, and it's Symbiotic Clothing. That's SYMBIOTIC and then clothing. You can Google us, and we should be the first result, or you can just type it into the search bar, symbioticclothing.ca, and we'd be happy to help you with any of your promotional needs and any other needs you need for clothing. And you know, we're here for you. We're here to help, and we're here for other people as well. And we'd like to make a difference in the community.
Well, Zach, thank you for all you do. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. I really appreciate it as well.